Hello. Well, hello everyone. Okay. Trying to make sure that I have, it takes me a minute to get Facebook up so that I can see who's there. It is not letting me, it's not letting me in. It's like I'm not even live on Facebook or something. And I know I am. Okay. Double checking. What is happening here? I mean, I can't even make this stuff up. Is this real? It's just Mercury retrograde. Oh my gosh, it's just Mercury retrograde. Well, hello Michelle, how are you? Okay, so we got some good stuff to talk about tonight. And last week was a little bit like weird because, well, it was a bad day. It was a weird day for me last week. And I didn't want to bail on you guys, but there we are. So before we completely get into all of this, I want to say that today, well, actually tomorrow, in just a few hours, we have the new moon in Pisces. New moon in Pisces is hitting its peak at 9:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we also have Venus square Jupiter. So not only are we going to feel very sensitive because it is a Pisces new moon tomorrow, and honestly, we're feeling it. It's here. It's here right now. Mercury retrograde is conjunct the moon currently. So yeah, it's here. We're feeling it. So we're also going to feel the sensitivity, especially tomorrow, because we do have Venus square Jupiter, which is going to make it even more sensitive than just a regular Pisces new moon situation. Isn't that fun? Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I'm just waiting for, a Pisces that's the most Pisces that's ever Piscesed. That's a funny little statement there. To join us on the live. She's usually here, so just, pretty funny. But I, okay, I'm just sitting back and like making sure that I have everybody lined up. So we're going to have a sensitive day tomorrow. That's what I want to say. We're definitely going to have a sensitive day tomorrow. And I don't think it's bad. I think it's a sensitive time. I mean, we're still lingering in Pisces a bit until at least Friday when the sun moves into Aries. And honestly, I don't know about y'all, but this Virgo is kind of sick of all this emotional stuff. Not that I'm not empathic and emotional, but that's the problem. I'm empathic, and I think most of you are too. I'm kind of getting sick of all this just emotional, just too much. So, in this Pisces new moon, not only are we experiencing the sensitivity of Venus square Jupiter, making us super sensitive, but we're also going to be experiencing Mercury conjunct the North Node. Isn't that special? Isn't that just precious? It's just so precious. I love it. I'm a Pisces, also been emotional. See, that's what I'm saying. It's an emotional time. It really is. And by the way, Pisces, happy birthday. Obviously, that's happened sometime in the last few weeks. But the thing about Mercury conjunct North Node, this is, I can't read this. I'm going to the eye doctor on Monday. So excited. By the way, oh my gosh. So I go into my eye doctor to make an appointment, and I'm talking to this really nice lady that works there. I was like, oh my gosh, I've met a new friend. Oh, so awesome. I just ran in to make an appointment real fast because I couldn't get through on the phone. I don't want to talk about that. But I had gone to Sam's, Sam's is a treat. And then I ran into the eye doctor to make an appointment for me and thing one. And I went in and I was talking to her and something came up about I don't exactly know how we got on astrology. But we got on astrology and we were talking. I mean, it was so lovely. I mean, we're just standing there. Da, 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 da. I did not have one business card on me, y'all. Not one. What is wrong with me? Like, I usually carry around a purse that is like a suitcase. I mean, it literally weighs 11 pounds. And I know because Dr. Seuss put it on the scale. That being said, I did not have one business card with me, and I'm just like, that's okay. I'll be back for my doctor's appointment. So I am going back to the eye doctor to hopefully get some of this corrected so I don't have to wear my reading glasses as much. It's like I've become farsighted. Yeah. So it's a lot of correction. Anyway, that was what I was going to say because I wanted to talk about Mercury conjunct the North Node. Mercury conjunct the North Node is kind of interesting. Really only happens once a year. But this is, and Mercury is retrograde right now. So remember that. This is past, and I wrote this down, and I don't know if I like the way I wrote it, but I put past junk returning. Okay. That's fun. I must have been in a mood when I was writing this, but it is time to rethink some of our decisions, some of our past decisions. Like some of the things that we've made, some of the decisions that we've made about maybe our finances or about relationships or business decisions, whatever. This is a time to have some second thoughts about the situation. And oh my gosh, Michelle, here's another Pisces. Here's another Pisces that'll be emotional right along with us. So I love that she's from the frozen tundra, and somebody from your neck of the woods here, Kelsey, sent the Arctic winds back down to Georgia. I was like, girl, no. I mean, I got things blooming in my yard and all of a sudden it's cold again. Hello? I mean, what am I supposed to do about this? Yeah, it's, So anyway, this Mercury retrograde conjunct the North Node is bringing up a lot of things that maybe we need to address. Like just for instance here, and there's another one from Nebraska. Hey, Mel Bailey. What we have here is if you are in school, for instance, maybe it's time for you to rethink your major. If you are looking at, I don't know, a new direction with your career that maybe you've been working on for the past year or year and a half, it may be time to rethink that. This Mercury retrograde conjunct North Node is giving us an opportunity to rethink things. I don't exactly want to say second guess, but I want to say having second thoughts about something. I don't want to say second guess because this is not indicative of a mistake. This is a time for us to make alterations, reroute. I knew it was going to come to me. See, it may be time for us to reroute our spiritual GPS. It may be time for us to just look at things just a little bit and just be like, okay, that's not exactly what I thought was going to happen. This is driving me crazy. Something is off with my camera, so give me 2 seconds and let me just adjust myself here because I'm a Virgo. I can't live like that. It was just driving me nuts. So anyway, back to Mercury and North Node and me being an anal retentive hun. I mean, we all got to be good at something, right? Yeah. Sorry I missed you guys last week. My daughter had a fundraiser. I was busy with that. Girl, don't you even apologize. My son had dental appointments last week. It was chaos. It was crazy. I got on here and said nothing. I mean, I just chatted with people in the chat, literally. That's what I did. So we're making up for that this week and next week, because next week I have this whole thing planned about what is your identity? What identifies you? Yeah, it's something I've been planning. So, but today, before we get to the identity crisis, it's not a crisis, but before we get to that, I wanted to talk about Mercury conjunct North Node, and I want to talk about the hows and whats, and how we can retrain our brain to think like in a new way. We're going to reset here. And it's really difficult for those that are in our 50s. So y'all that are a lot younger, this should be easier. I'm just saying. So this conjunction with Mercury and North Node it's going to go really fast, because obviously Mercury moves really fast anyway, and North Node doesn't move fast, but you know, it plods along. So what we're going to see here is Mercury overtaking North Node, and then it's going to go direct on Friday, and it's going to screech right back over the top of it. I know. So we're going to get this for just a minute. The important thing here is just to address and look at your situations and reevaluate. Reevaluate. For me, it's coming up with business, because first of all, I have a Capricorn ascendant, so it's in my third house. It's in my third house of what am I doing to support the second and the fourth house? What am I doing? How do I need to reestablish this? And I have been reworking stuff in my business, because I'm doing some new stuff. Some of the people that I'm working with coaching on YouTube, I've given them assignments for April, and I'm doing it with them. I'm joining in that. So there is a way, you see that I'm sort of reworking it. I'm sort of working in that change in my own business. And it's stuff that I've either tried in the past and it didn't work, or it's stuff that I wanted to try and just didn't have the time for. I know. For a couple of years there, I spread myself way too thin. I mean, way too thin. So I've been working on that. It's coming along. We're not at perfection yet. What a shocker. But that's what we need to focus on when we see this Mercury conjunct the North Node. And it is going to happen, okay? Just a little bit, like a little bit here and a little bit there, you know, after Mercury goes direct on Friday. Now, Friday is a big day. We've got spring equinox. We have Mercury going direct, obviously. Talked about that. We have the sun moving into Aries, and International Astrology Day. I love it. I love it. All planets will be direct from the 20th of March until the 6th of May. So this is really a wonderful time to reassess and say, okay, what do I want to roll out? What do I want to start? How do I want to push this new thing into action? And need I remind you, and I know I say this all the time, it's a 1 year in numerology. So if you do have some ideas that you've had to shelve, now's the time to pull them down, dust them off, polish them up, and see what you can make out of it. See if this is the right time for it. And with all the planets direct, you don't have anything that you're butting up against. Having planets in retrograde is not a bad thing. It is not the boogeyman I thought it was when I first started studying astrology. It's just like with the tarot. The Tower card is not the ultimate boogeyman that I used to think it was. No. Sometimes, you know, some of those other major arcana cards that are supposed to be real good, I don't love them. I mean, the Moon card, I tell you, there's one lady I read for that every time the Moon card comes up with her, I swear, I just clench my butt. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Not again. Because it's something to do with her ex-husband hiding something else from her that she's got to discover, and it's probably going to cost her money. Now, I digress. But I'm just saying retrogrades are not the boogeyman that I used to think they were, and neither is the tarot card. So, however, it's really a good time when all the planets are direct. We have just a little over a month to really pack in all of this, like, fresh start, get it out there. And when the planets start going retrograde, and Pluto is the first up in May, when Pluto goes retrograde, there's going to be some things up that we need to rework, we need to rethink, we need to reassess. But if we're getting it rolling, when we don't have anything against us, when we don't have anything like kicking back on us, it's a good time. It's a really good time. That's why I'm rolling some stuff out with the people that I'm working with on YouTube. And you know what? We can all do this together. On April 1st, April Fool's Day, hello, we're going to start with like this consistency thing that we're doing with our YouTube channels, and I'm joining in with them. So now is when we're doing a lot of the planning, which leads me to, that's me rethinking. That's me giving some decisions that I've made in the past, some second thoughts. We're taking a second pass at some stuff. We're looking at, we're going to rethink some things, and we have a lot of past things returning up. A lot of past things are bubbling to the surface. Hey, you did this. How can you make it better? How could you fix this? What are we doing with that kind of thing? So that's Mercury conjunct North Node. Now, let's go into the hows and whats, and sometimes the whys. But the hows and whats. So the first thing we need to do when we are reprogramming, we're resetting our mindset. This is a very difficult thing to do. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's so easy. I can do that. I can do that, Jennifer. That's like not a problem. I can definitely do that. And then they call me 3 days later going, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too much. It's too much. I can't think like that. I know. That's the point. We're resetting our mindset. So when things come up, when you get a dentist bill, let's throw that out there, because me and 2 others of my clients have gotten rather large, significant dental bills lately. Yeah. So when we get those dental bills, and we look at this and say, oh, holy crap. Oh, what now? Yeah. So here's how we approach it. What can I do to increase my income? What can I do to change my budget to accommodate this? How can I create an outcome where I can pay this all off? What can I do? How can I? Do you see those statements? The how can I? What can I? Those are the things that we're going to start with. I need to move my notes. Those are the things that we need to start with. What we're looking to do here is create a different outcome. What we are trying to do is get our mind to not panic and go into fight or flight, which is where most of us stay, right? I talk to a lot of people that are anxiety riddled, and I live with people that are anxiety riddled. To be honest with you, I am surrounded by the men that I'm just like, dude, really? What's going on with y'all now? Pick up a cat. Pick up a cat and listen to it purr. I'll calm you down. Well, unless it starts like clawing you, and then that's a whole nother thing. But that's where I've started asking my kids every day at the end of the day, what did you do today that you were proud of? I want to get their minds thinking in a different perspective. I want to make some changes. So now I'm asking them, when they present me with an issue, when they present me with a problem, when they're just like, there's just not, I don't have this, I don't have this. And I'm like, okay, what can you do to make money? What can you do to create time? What can you do to be more organized? What can you do to help your communication with me? Where are we at with that? And what it does is it starts our brains in a place of creating a different way of thinking. It starts us in an area of using our imagination, of expanding ourselves and going, oh, okay, yeah, how can I do that? Because when you're asking your brain, when you're asking your mind that, it starts trying to come up with solutions. That's how the gray matter works. And I kept taking all these seminars. Y'all know that I love to take me some classes. Girl, I love to take classes. It's too much because on my days off, I'm taking classes or I'm sitting in my living room while people are watching, Star Wars for the millionth time. And I love Star Wars. I do. But while they're watching another movie or playing a video game that I so know what's going on, while they're doing that, I'm usually like on my phone or on my pad, like participating in an online seminar or like listening to a class. I love it. I love taking classes. I love doing that stuff. It just is so fun for me. I did not realize until I was looking, because sometimes I have to go back and look at a lot of my class notes just to refresh myself. But I'm looking at some of my class notes because I'm old and I take notes on a notebook. And I was like, oh my gosh, I keep taking classes about almost similar, like they're the same but different kind of classes. They're all very similar. There's some sort of like connection with all of them. And they all have to do with changing your mindset, to change the outcome, to make something different happen. And I thought about that and I was like, you know what? I've thought about this for a long time because for years I have been telling my clients, if you don't like this reading, change something. If you don't like what's coming up, if you don't like what's happening, change something in your life. Even if it's to go to a different grocery store or a different gas station or just taking a different way home. Or just, I don't know, park your car in a different place in your driveway. It's just food for thought. And the only reason we have to park in my driveway is because our basement keeps flooding and I keep moving stuff into the carport. So we really haven't parked in our carport in a really long time. But that's my fault. It's fine. So I say all this to say, we need to change something or it will always be the same outcome. Changing up just minor things in our routine. And for the last week, I've been asking my kids every day as we're going to bed, as they're going to bed. I can't go to bed that early. And I don't know any mom that can, because most moms I know, I'm getting off the subject, I know, but most moms I know put their kids to bed and then they get to work. Then it's like, oh girl, I can do this and nobody's here. Nobody's bugging me. It's good times. Yeah. So the changing your mindset about something is just as It can be as simple as what I'm doing with my kids. And every night when they go to bed, I'm just like, what did you do today that you were proud of? What did you do today that you were proud of? And at first they were just like, I drew a picture. Okay, great. Sounds good. I definitely did not mentally torture another student in my class. That's a weird way to put it, but okay, I'm proud. And I went, sure, let's don't be a bully. Let's talk about that. So we have discussions like that now as they're going to bed. You know, oh, I built this just awesome Lego set, or hey, I created a new way for these creatures that I build to have them look like they're injured and they're healing. And I'm like, oh, great. How did you do that? I found this tape stuff in a kitchen drawer. The fabric tape that you use on bandages, that kind of tape. Yeah, I used the whole roll out of the kitchen drawer that houses all of our first aid stuff. So that's nice. I did find out that I need to buy some more of that, so I put bandage tape on the list today. I mean, I don't want to stifle his creativity, but at the same time, I would like to have some bandage tape in the drawer when they injure themselves, and those injuries always happen. You know what I'm saying? That you have to use the 4x4s and the tape. Yeah. So, but he created a new way of doing that, so it's great. It's awesome. It's just genius of you. Love that. So, we're celebrating these little things that keep happening. Mouse is not celebrating with me because I still have a box of books on his favorite chair. So, he's still pissed. But that's okay. We're going to get through this. Since you guys can hear him hollering in the back. So, how I would like for you guys to start is with hows and whats. How can I? What can I? Clients that are like looking for a new infusion into their business, or they're looking for a new way to market their business. And they're like, how can I bring in new clients and build some prosperity? How can I do that? How can I save enough money so that I can expand my business? And I have a client that is currently putting her daughter through college. That's pricey. I mean, that's pricey. Even with partial scholarships, that's pricey. So the question then becomes, what can I do to supplement my daughter's education? Because, and rightfully so, she does not want her to have student loans. I can get behind that. So asking questions instead of just going, I don't know what I'm going to do. Do you see how saying, I don't know what I'm going to do inhibits the imagination? It stifles it. It keeps it from expanding. It just stops it right there in its tracks. There's no way further. It stops it, literally. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then you're just like, I just have to work harder. I just have to do more. I just have to. I had just hafted myself into a crazy space where I was going, okay, I'm going to get up at the same time every morning as Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He also goes to bed at the same time as my children. I can't go to bed at the same time as my children because then I wouldn't be here right now because my kids go to bed at 8:30. So everybody goes to bed at 8:30 except for. So I kept going, well, if I get up at the same time as Dr. Seuss, look at how much I can get done from like 4:30 until 6:30, because it takes me about 30 minutes just to wake up. Look at how much I can get done from 4:30 to 6:30 before I have to wake up the children. And then, I can keep going with the rest of the day. Now, how's that going to work? Because immediately when I said that, I had like all these computer problems. Mercury retrograde. I had all these computer problems, and I was like, oh crap. So I'm up until like 1:30 in the morning trying to fix my stuff, trying to like get videos edited and all this stuff happening. And then it just hit me. I was like, oh, yeah. I was re-listening to a seminar that I had recorded when I took it. And I went, oh my gosh, I really put myself in that fence. I really stuck myself into that thinking this was the only way when I get so much done at night after everybody goes to bed. Because on a typical night, I'm not going to bed until like 11, 12, whatever. And then I wake up at 6. I'm functionable by 6:30. I've had my first cup of coffee and we're moving and grooving. I really had to rethink that because what I was doing is I was stifling the creative process. So when I started saying, what can I do to get all of these things done in a day, in a week? What can I do? How can I accomplish this? How can I get this accomplished? And that's how I start my day now, is I ask myself, and again, this has only been about a week and a half. I ask myself, how can I get XYZ accomplished today? And then I get up out of bed, I go have my coffee, trying to wake up, trying to make sure the dogs have been out and the cats have been fed. And because the cats are going to remind you when you're 5 minutes late feeding them. Yeah. The dogs don't do that, but the cats, yeah. So that's what I've been doing. This is what I've been doing. It was negative with 60 plus mile an hour winds, but it's supposed to be 70s and 90s in the next 4 days. Are you kidding me? Is the weather bipolar? I mean, I'm not judging people with that disorder because I have friends and family members that have that, but the weather is not supposed to be like this. Yes, thank you, Mel. Love that. Yes, that's like, mothers. Even if they're mothers to 4-legged creatures who are angry because I won't clean the books out of your chair. Just sit there and stare at me. That cat loves me. Yeah. So, I said all that to say, I am also resetting my mindset. I'm resetting some limiting thoughts. And limiting thoughts come across as, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. Instead of, how can I? What can I? And setting aside space for your imagination to work. Now, people say this all the time, and there's a lot of spiritual gurus out there, and I say this all the time on the numerology videos. People throw around words like self-empowerment, and I'm going to hold space for you, but they don't actually know what that means. They don't actually know what that means. When you are holding space for something, you're leaving room. You are leaving room for it. It's not saying, I'm going to hold space for you, but I'm going to judge the hell out of you. That's not holding space for somebody. It's not. And you can't hold space for people and expect them to do things the way that you want them to be done. I've worked with people like that. They're so much fun. And again, spiritual gurus. We love that. We do. So when you are holding space for your own imagination, what you are doing is creating that place where you can say, how can I? What can I? And when you're doing that, it creates the opening, it creates the place, it creates that space for your imagination to work and say, I got you, girl. We're going to figure this out. And all of a sudden, things will bubble to the surface. All of a sudden, things will come up and it will be like, oh, yeah, I can do that. Oh, yeah, how about that? And a lady that I spoke to today, she started working this just since like Thursday or Friday. Thursday, I think. She has started doing this because I talked to several people last week about this. She started doing this, and this week she received a grant. She has a nonprofit, and I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but the nonprofits are really struggling right now because a lot of the federal aid that they were supposed to get has not been coming in, and some of it has been on hold, or it has been put on hold until like June, and that's really hard because some of these nonprofits don't have a lot of like financial reserves. So she was very happy because all of a sudden she was like, I got a notification that, because she was worried about how this was going to roll. And for the next couple of months, she was like, I don't know what we're going to do. And I was like, no, we're going to rethink that. We're going to come up with a different way of looking at that. Instead of, I don't know what we're going to do, she started saying, what can I do to bring in like donations? What can I do to bring in grant money? What can I do to bring in some prosperity to help us close this gap, this financial gap? And then she kept asking, how can I bring in money to close this financial gap that we have? And all of a sudden, a grant came in that she had forgotten all about. And she was like, this is great. This is fantastic. And she called today to tell me that it had come in. And she was just like, are you mad? Well, come here and talk to these people. Look, do you not want to be on the camera? Because it sounds to me like you want to be on the camera. Mercury is asleep on the heater because it's cold, and Mouse is just, he can't sleep on the heater. He can't sleep on his favorite chair. I ruined his life. I've ruined his life, people. I know. He's almost 5. It's really sad. It is. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some resetting. This is the perfect time to do it because we have spring equinox, we have Mercury going direct, Sun moving into Aries. So we're in the first sign of the zodiac. We're at spring equinox, which a lot of people really look at as the beginning of the year. I know. A lot of people look at the Lunar New Year as the beginning of the year. A lot of people look at spring equinox. Honestly, I'm on board with both because in numerology, we repeat the numbers from the previous year, from November and December. We repeat those numbers in January and February of the next year. So to me, like once we get out of February, I'm like, now I feel like we can bring in the new year. Now I feel like, oh yeah, new year's starting. So that's for me personally. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but that's how I feel about it. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have like 3 New Years. Have them. Have one on January 1st, have one at the Lunar New Year. Let's celebrate your Chinese sign. And then have another one at the spring equinox. Like, gun it up. So at this new year, this spring equinox, we're going to start changing our mindset. If you're working on some health stuff, why don't you say, how can I get into better shape? How can I have a healthier body? What can I do? And I guarantee you there's going to be something that shows up. There's going to be some videos, some memes, something show up on Instagram or YouTube. I don't watch TikTok as much as I used to because it kind of annoys me. I mean, I don't know what's happened with TikTok, but I'm like, girl, it's getting kind of sad out there. I feel like everybody's either begging for money or telling me the world's going to end. And I'm like, no. I'm just like, no to both of those. I don't want to know when the world is going to end because I will prepare. And that's not the way to live. That is not the way to live. And I don't have any money to give you right now. No, I'm not in the mood. So, no. So I haven't been watching TikTok as much as I used to. I know. And I used to get really, oh my gosh, you could get lost in that for a minute, right? It's like now I can get lost in Instagram reels. Okay, that's dangerous. And then I'll sit there and all of a sudden I realize that for 45 minutes or an hour, I've done nothing but send out videos to all these people. Like, there's like 4 or 5 people that I just send out videos to all the time. My mom, my best friend, my cousin. I'm just like, ding, 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 ding. And they're probably like, oh my gosh, she's on Instagram again. She's sending out videos. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Again, I digress. We're going to start this on Friday. Okay? You can start preparing, you can start practicing, because I think it's important that we practice this mindset. It is not easy. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not, because it is habit that increases our cortisol and makes us go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I got this big bill from the dentist. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I have to get a tire replaced. Oh my gosh, what do I have to do to pay for XYZ? Now we're going to rethink it. We're going to say things in a different way. And because there for a minute, I was like, oh Lord, one of us is going to have to start driving for Uber because these dentist bills are out of control. And they are. I mean, they are. So, lots of fun. We can do this. We can reset our mindset. We can change our mindset. And we can do it while we are processing things that are coming up from the past, things that maybe we need to rework. So I think it's important that we're incorporating it into this Mercury conjunct North Node stuff, and look at some of the decisions that we've made and some of the decisions that we wish we had made. And that way we can really say, okay, how can I create a different outcome? How can I create a better or prosperous outcome? I know. You're a tiny creature, but you have a very loud voice. If you want to come here, I will hold you and you can look out at everybody. Okay. And he's off. I've noticed, I think there's some other furry creatures in my yard that he's looking out the windows at. And he's like, I gotta get out there. But then I open up the door and he's like, I don't want to go out. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, dude. He's so funny, really. Okay. So, how's everything going? Y'all feel good about this? It's not too shabby, right? Right. And next week, I really want to talk about what defines us. Because I have a theory. I know. Okay, I have some working theories. All right. That a lot of us try to define ourselves by our jobs or by our families. Yeah. So I've been thinking about that a lot myself. I've been thinking about that for the past few weeks and just being like, what is it? What do we want to do? Will you be live on Friday? Okay, I'm hoping to be live on Friday. I really am. But Thing 2 has a field trip. So I'm going to be with second graders all day in a museum where they can't touch stuff. Like the whole 8 and 9-year-old thing, I'm just like, So it is near an IKEA. I'm real happy about that because once that school bus leaves the parking lot to return to school, I'm going to IKEA. So, if I am not knee deep in a margarita on Friday night, yeah, I'll go live. I can definitely do that. If I go live on Friday night, I'm going to do it a titch earlier, so I'll do it at like 8 o'clock. Because I don't normally, like, I try not to take calls on Friday nights because at one point I was like I was in my office all the time and I was not where I needed to be. But Friday night seemed to be a free for all around here. Yeah. But they're usually like, can we go to the movies? Can we do this? Can we do that? I'm like, okay. Go live anyway. Oh my gosh. You see me just like going live, just sipping a margarita going, oh my gosh, y'all. You won't believe the stuff I saw today. I mean, you would think second graders would be like pretty chill, right? I mean, because the 5th grade class, I go on like trips with them, 5th grade. Wait, is he in 2nd grade? No, he's in 3rd grade. Oh my gosh. I can't even get the grade right. He's in 3rd grade, not 2nd grade. And I've had no tequila today. But yeah, the 5th grade class, I go on trips with them and there's a few rowdy boys, whatever. But everybody else is pretty chill. Like the girls are they're real prepared. Okay. They all have their little purses just in case. Because they've all, a lot of them are starting their cycles. And they're like, I got my little purse just in case. And they all call me my kid's name, Mom. And I'm like, okay. That's my current identity. Yeah. So Miss Thing 1's mom. Miss Thing 2's mom. It's so much fun. So this is the last field trip for 3rd grade this year. And it's to a museum, again, where they can't touch anything. And I think that's a real safe place to have a lot of very energetic 8 and 9-year-olds. Solid. It's real solid. So I don't know how many other moms are going because when I emailed the teacher that I was going, she was just like, oh, thank God. I'm so happy you'll be joining us. That does not lead me to believe that there's a lot of other moms going. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. So, real fun. Oh, I moved his bed and he's finally starting to use it again. He's a little bit happy. But the little igloo beds, they sleep in those when it gets super cold. And but it hasn't been, it's cold here again, but it's not Nebraska cold. You know what I mean? And thank you. I appreciate that. I have earned a margarita. I appreciate that. I'll also make sure to tell my diet that. Oh my gosh. Been doing real good on my diet. Lost 7.5 pounds. I don't want to brag, but 7.5 pounds. My kids didn't even weigh that when they were born. So that's impressive. Yeah. That's about how much you weigh, isn't it, Mouse? Actually, I think Mouse weighs 9 pounds. He's not fat, though. You're real lean, aren't you? See? That's a comfortable space for your bed. He has 3 beds in my office and his chair. What are we doing here? I mean, really. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. The 7-pound lighter woman appreciates that. I know, it takes like a second to put the weight on, and it takes eons to get the weight off. But I am going to start applying the how and what method to my eating. I know. Instead of like going into that house and heading straight for the Rice Krispies treats, I'm not going to go after the Rice Krispies treats. I'm not going to go after the ice cream in the refrigerator that is chocolate with marshmallow. Oh my gosh. Did y'all know that they made that? It's by a Turkey Hill, which I love that ice cream, Turkey Hill. Chocolate and marshmallow. Marshmallow ribbons. It just makes it sound just a little bit better. And it looks really good. But I've not had any. But thing one tells me it's real good. Wasn't that nice of him? It was real nice of him. So there we have it. While I am drinking a protein shake. By the way, these are freaking awesome protein shakes. If you're looking for a protein shake, these are on sale at Sam's right now. And these are amazing. It tastes like a melted Chick-fil-A shake. The chocolate's real good. The vanilla's great. So, just letting y'all know. All right. So, do y'all have any questions, any thoughts, anything that you would like to say about Mercury conjunct North Node, Venus square Jupiter, new moon in Pisces? All this emotion is going to be very emotional tomorrow, very sensitive emotionally. And how can I and what can I repeat that over and over and over again? And if you want to join, like me and my kids, ask yourself every day, at the end of every day, what did you do today that you were proud of? Just real quick. What did you do today that you were proud of? I did not flip off somebody at a red light. That's not the only thing I'm proud of. But I am real proud of that. Because it took effort. It took effort for me not to do that. Got laundry done. What a shocker. I do laundry every day. Dishes done. That was exciting. I am researching automatic litter boxes. Something that's been on my to-do list. And I wanted to get some automatic litter boxes. I know, because I have some real picky customers that it's like as soon as they use it, they need it scooped out immediately. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. I do this once, maybe twice a day. So I started thinking, well, maybe it's time to invest in an automatic litter box to please the king. By the way, one of his beds is a dog bed. It's quite large, and he stretches out and takes up the entire bed. I mean, it's a medium dog bed, but it's still a dog bed, and it's quite comical. He acts like I have ruined his life by putting a box of books on a chair. I think now I'm just being stubborn about it, to be honest with you. But I am still rearranging the office. So, you know. All right. My coworker has one and she loves it. Really? Okay. Well, I wonder if Kelsey has one for Fred. I mean, Fred seems like a very happy individual. Yeah. That fur baby is just spoiled. Yes, they all are. They are all spoiled. And this is just the office cats. I inadvertently became the cat lady after I moved into this area because I just kept adopting the stray cats. Now most of them live in my house or in my office because these two don't get along with anybody else, so they have to stay in my office. It is like 900 square feet, but they have plenty of room, but they don't get along with anybody else, so they have to live here. And they're so funny. I mean, sometimes I come down here and they're just like, what are you doing here? I work here. And then other times I walk down here and they're like, where have you been? And I'm like, I was here an hour ago. You know, it's just, you just never know about these animals. They are so much fun. Before I forget, everybody that is commenting is going to get, I almost said enrolled. Oh my gosh. Registered for the drawing for the aventurine bracelet. I am not saying adventurine, I'm saying aventurine bracelet, the green aventurine bracelet. So I'm going to see if I have more. I think this is the only one I have. I'm going to see if I have more because there's a lot of people commenting, and that's impressive. So if you're commenting in the live show, I am counting that. But if you have commented in the on the numerology shows, that's fine. I mean, you know, you don't have to comment on both. You can if you want to, but you don't have to do both. But you are getting registered to win this and maybe a few other things. Because, you know, the lady that won, she had the most comments of 2025 on my channel. I sent her, we had a discussion about my fingernails. And she was like, oh my gosh, I want to try those. I want to try those. So I got her some. They're, here's a set that's open because I got her some Kiss nudes because this is what I wear. And you can tell I have opened them up and put them on. But these are the ones I wear. I'm getting ready to try Glamnetics, but these are the ones I wear. So she was like, I love those. So I was like, girl, I got you. So she got some nails along with, you know, stuff that she won for that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you never know what I might put in the package. Like, you just never know. So, we shall see at the end of the month what I have collected. I'll just be like, oh, this is a lot of stuff. Maybe we'll do 2. I don't know. It'll be fun though. It'll be great. So, You're disturbing their peace. Yes, I am disturbing their peace. They are just so funny. I'm going to have to post pictures of them. Maybe I should do that on my Instagram and post pictures. Be like, oh yeah, here we are. All right. I see the people that are on Facebook, but I don't know who y'all are because I don't see any comments yet on Facebook. But I see 2 people. I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't miss anything. No. Okay. So we're all right. Uh-oh. Did I just kick me off of Facebook? I didn't. Good, good, good. All right. So I'm telling you, Mercury retrograde. Great times. All right, you guys. I really do love the hows and whats. It is making a difference in my life. Small changes, but small changes that are consistent make a huge difference. It really, really does. Keep that in mind. You don't have to change big things overnight to make a significant change in your life. Small, consistent changes make a huge difference. Okay? Don't let all these people, like the crazy spiritual gurus out there, and I do believe in self-empowerment. I just want to emphasize that. But I do not believe that all these people that are out there spouting self-empowerment, hold space. I just do not believe that they are for real. Okay? Because I've met them and I know they're not really holding space. They're judging you. And I know that they're not really talking about self-empowerment because they've been rescued all of their lives. And that's not self-empowerment. Self-empowerment is being able to ask the hows and whats and make changes in your life so that you can fix your own stuff. You can say, hey, there's an idea. Let me go after that. There's an idea. Let me try it. And it's a 1 year. So let's give it a shot. And I remembered to wear all my green today. It was very important that I did not get pinched while I was at 3 different Walmarts looking for one thing that nobody seems to have. But that's okay. I'm going to try Ingles and Kroger tomorrow. Hopefully better luck, but we'll see. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining me. This is such a good crew, as always. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Next week, we are going to be talking about what defines us. What is your identity outside of work and home? We'll call it home because not everybody's like, saddled with 2-legged or 4-legged kids. So, yeah. But what defines us? That's what we want to talk about next week. So, until we see each other again, what are y'all going to do? Get out there and make your magic. Bye, y'all.